All right, guys, you need a note sheet. We're going to go on and start the lesson here. Before we start the lesson, are there any questions on the assignment so far? Any questions over any of the assignments so far? Any questions over any of the assignments so far? 5.210. Do you have the sheet that goes along with it?
Oh, sorry.
You're good?
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you. All right, guys, so we're looking at this one here, number 10. Now, they gave us a congruency statement, which does help us match up the corresponding parts. So, MNP, TSU. So, we know that M is congruent to T. N and U. And we also have P and S are congruent. It also means the sides between the 1 and 3, so these are going to be congruent. These here and these here. Now it does tell us that 2x minus y is 13. Now the three angles in this triangle do add up to be 180. So we can take 124 and add it to 24 to get 148. From there we can subtract 148 from 180. Which gives us 32. So the measure of angle N is 32, which does match up with our 2x minus 50 is 32. Now at this point here, we can solve for the value of x, so we can add 50 to both sides, which will tell us 2x is equal to 82. Divide both sides not by 4, but by 2. Tells us x is 41. Number 10 on 5.2. Yes. X and y. So that means over here, we can say 2 times 41 minus y is 13. Well, 2 times 41 is 82. At this point here, we can subtract 82 from both sides, telling us negative y is equal to negative 51. Divide both sides by negative 1, and y is 51, x is 41. Questions on this here?
Caitlin Johnson, please come to the office. Caitlin Johnson, please come to the office.
Make sure, because that is 51.
Cadence Barrett, come to the office.
2x minus 50. 32. This doesn't seem right. MNP, TUS, N and U. 24, 148, 2. Guys, this is a little off because this should be 124. It's 142. So, guys, I'm doing these here to try to help y'all with the homework questions. If you feel that this is a complete waste of your time, please be quiet. Because talking while I'm trying to do this, there are people who are trying to get help with these problems, and you talking is being a distraction to them. So please do not talk during this here. Now, there was an error that did show up because it wasn't 124, it's 142. All that's going to do is change this to 166. At this point here, we do need to subtract it from 180, which is going to give us 14, not 32. So this is going to be a slight change in the numbers over here. So it'd be 14, which is not 82, it is going to be 64, which should give us an answer of 32. So here it is 32, which is going to make these numbers make a little more sense, because this here, 2 times 32 is 64. And when we subtract 64 from both sides, we should get negative 51, which is going to give us y is 51. Any other questions on this here? Questions on a different assignment?
Yeah, 12 and 14.
So number 12, 5.3. Let's see here. Number 12 on 5.3. So number 12, nope. So 12 on 5.3, let's get the right shape. This shape here. These are just make a line. Q, R, V, 1, 2. U, T, S. And we're asked if triangle Q, RV, and triangle TSU are congruent. Decide whether enough information is given to prove the triangles are congruent using side angle side, and if so, explain.
They have a in B and U.
B and U, right here and right here. So I'm going to be a little bit nice on this here, because if you didn't explain at all, you are going to lose half points, because it does say explain. I'm going to be nice because if you said by side angle side, that would technically be half a point off. Because if we read the directions, decide whether enough information is given to prove that the triangles are congruent using side angle side. So they already told us side angle side. Because if we look at this here, because for side angle side, I need 2 sets of sides that are congruent, yes? So here, we do have that QR is congruent to ST. That's one of our sides, yes? Our other set of sides, we have QV is congruent to. Do we have a set of angles that is between those 2 sides? We have a set of angles that are congruent, yes? But are they between the 2 sides? So this is no. And that's it. We only have to say no because no, there is not enough information. If there was, we can use the sides and angles to say that they are, that we do have two sets of congruent sides with a set of angles in the middle. But for these here, for the ones that are yes, I will take side, angle, side. But for the rest, we are going to need more information than that. 14. So we'll look at this next one here and then move on. So let's use the shape generator. This here. Yes. So we have this here. Now our letters are N, K, M, L. Parallel, parallel, congruent, congruent. And we want to say triangle KLM and triangle MNK. MNK. Now we do have a set of sides that are congruent. The middle line, KM, is going to be congruent to itself because it is shared in both. Now with this here, because we can think of these two lines as extended out, nope, going the wrong way. Because our parallel lines are what we're extending out, these two here. And these two angles here, one more, are going to be considered alternate interior angles because they're in between the parallel lines and on opposite sides of the transversal. We can't include the other lines. We can't include these here because part of the angle is outside of the shape. Those would not be alternate interior because it's not the whole angle. At this here, we have an angle, we have a side and a side. Is the angle between the two sides? No, so can we say that these are congruent? No, we can't say that they're congruent by side, angle, side. Any questions on any of this here? We are looking at the next set of congruency statements because so far we've had side, angle, side. The next one we have is side, side, side. If three sides of one triangle are congruent to three sides of a second triangle, then the two triangles are going to be congruent. Thank you. So we have to have that three sides of one triangle are congruent to three sides of another for us to say that they're congruent. Well, that makes sense because if all sides of one triangle are congruent to all sides of the other, then the two triangles are going to be congruent to each other. So we're going to skip that one there. We're going to look at these two here. So we want to state whether we know that the two triangles are congruent and then how. So if we look at these two triangles here, what do we know? Well, we know that AB is congruent to what? BC or CB. So that's a set of sides. Do we have anything else? AD is congruent to DC, and those are another set of sides, yes? Do we have anything else? Since it's shared in both figures, it's congruent in both. So can we say that the two triangles are congruent? By side, side, side. And our explanation is both of these here. Because we do have three sets of congruent sides, so we can say the two triangles are congruent by side, side, side. Any questions on this here? Yes. Okay. We ready for the next one? No? We ready for the next one? Can we say that these two triangles are congruent? Yes. By side, side, side. And again, this is going to be on the test because these are going to come up. And I will count off if you just put this. Yes, side, side, side. Because again, we need to explain, because side, side, side is one thing, but what sides? AB is congruent to what? I want you to put this on the homework for this one here, not the previous one. This one here for sure. Because again, it's giving our explanation. AB is congruent to EF. We also have what? ED. And we also have that AC is congruent to DF. Because we have a side, and we have a side. And the nice thing with side, 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 the order really doesn't matter. As long as we have 3 sets of sides, we can say that 2 are congruent. And that's all we have to do. Any questions on this here? So looking at this one here, we need to state if they are congruent. Do we have 3 sets of congruent sides? So let's see what we do have. We have that AB is congruent to DC. So we have a set of sides, yes? And we do have a set of angles. Angle, so this one here would be what? CBD is congruent to angle. Well, this one here is ADB. So we do have an angle, yes? Because we have a side, we have an angle, and BD is congruent to. So we do have a side angle on the side, yes? Yes. Because for the bottom one, we have a side, an angle, and a side, yes? On top, what do we have? We have a side, side, angle. So are they congruent? No. Do we have 2 sides at an angle? Yes. In one triangle, the angle is between the 2 sides. The other, it is not. After it. So where it's placed does matter. So even though we do have enough information for side, angle, side, it's not set up properly. Questions on this here? We ready for the next one? Decide whether the congruent statement is true. Explain your reasoning. So here, do we have 3 sets of congruent sides? What's different for this one than the last one? They gave us something else. What does it say there? Triangle DFG is congruent to triangle HJK. So they gave us a congruency statement, yes? So let's see how this is set up. DFG. So we're starting at D, going to F, and coming to. So we went across the line with 2, down the line with 3, and then we would come back across, yes? So this one's saying we're starting at J, and we're following the same pattern, yes? Okay, so the congruency statement is true, yes? Do we have enough information with the triangles?
Yeah.
So DF is congruent to HJ. We have that. FG is congruent to JK, and DG, HK. So yes, by side, side, side. SSS. Questions on this here? We ready for the next one? So do we know any of the angles for this here? No. we do have that AD and BC are congruent, yes? Because they're both 7. Well, AC is congruent to itself, yes? Do we have another set of sides that are congruent? Do we have any angles that are congruent? Well, they didn't tell us any of the angles, so we can't really assume them. So do we even have enough information? No. Not enough information. Well, yeah. We jumped several. Okay. So we're here. So no, we don't have enough information. Questions on this here? QPT. So Q, P, T, 2, 3, 1. So start at R, 2, 3, 1. So the statement is good, and we can say that QP is congruent to RS or SR, either one. Then PT is congruent to ST. And lastly, QT is congruent to TR or RT. So yes, by side, side, side.
So we put yes by side, like out like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you want us to write like work it out and then put yes by side.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's no, do you just want us to put well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so no. So for the one before, here,
Not enough information.
yeah, enough.
Will it always be like that if we can't like do it?
Because here it's not enough information. The one before, here, no. We can say what? Wrong setup.
Yeah.
Or we can say one was side angle side, and the other was side side angle. They didn't match. So are these two going to be congruent?
Because the middle is the third angle. The CB can be a side, right?
So 2 blank 1, because we can say this is, well, we can call it 3, because it's congruent to itself. So 2, 3, 1. So decide whether the congruency statement is true. Is the congruency statement true? No.
I thought you just had to have 3 sides. I didn't know they had.
Well, if they didn't include the congruency statement, would they be congruent? Yeah, they are. But we need to be paying attention, especially if it gives us a congruency statement from the beginning, because here it's not saying matching it up. It's putting this side with, it's putting this side and this side together, which aren't the same. So it matched them up incorrectly. No. Wrong order, we can say instead of order, wrong. Wrong statement. Questions on this here? JKM and LKM. So JKM. So we can say yes. By side, side, side. And what are our congruency? So JK is congruent to Okay.
KM is congruent to KI.
KM is congruent to KM. It's congruent to itself. And
Then
mhm,
JM
JM and ML. Yes. Any questions on any of this here? So this is so the last thing we're looking at is this here. What additional information do we need to say that the two triangles are congruent by the given reasoning? So the given reasoning for this here is side, side, side. So what are we given? Two sets of sides are congruent, so the piece of information we need is third side, which would be RT needs to be congruent to what? ZX or XZ, either one. And that's it.
That's all we have left to do.
Yep. Questions on this here? We'll look at this one here, and then we are done for today. So we need three sets of sides, yes? What is the other set of side that we need? So why not the other side? So it's already congruent to itself, so we need just the other two. Those two are congruent. And that's it. Yep. That's good. Different color. This color.
Can I go?
3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're welcome. 1, 2, 3.